What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and in this video we will tell you guys all about Cheick Doucoure, the biggest target for Liverpool now that Liverpool have missed out on Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia. Chelsea just agreed a £58 million deal for Lavia, which is super frustrating for Liverpool because just a few weeks ago we could have signed Lavia for 50 million, but 58 million I don't think Lavia is worth that amount. And Liverpool, according to Miguel Delaney, journalist working for the independent newspaper, Liverpool are stepping up their efforts to sign the Crystal Palace midfielder, and we will have a detailed scouting report and scouting analysis about Cheick Doucoure in this video, so make sure to watch it until the end. And also we will have Fabrizio Romano and what he said about Liverpool's transfer plans now that we missed out on Caicedo and Romeo Lavia. And please just don't tell Chelsea that we are going after Doucouré, because they will bid 100 million for Doucouré. So Jurgen Klopp is desperate for a new number 6, and Doucouré's final price could come in at around £60 million according to Delaney, but I think he's wrong, because even before this Caicedo and Lavia transfer drama, Crystal Palace always said that they will sell Doucouré for around between 70 and 80 million pounds. But now that Liverpool showed their hand, and basically Liverpool were like sitting at a poker table and they dropped their cards and everybody could see them, that's where Liverpool are at the moment in this transfer window poker game. Liverpool will have to overpay for Doucouré, but I don't really care about how much Liverpool pay for Doucouré because price is secondary. Right now Liverpool are in desperate need of a brilliant defensive midfielder like Doucouré, who is 23 years old. He's a big, strong, muscular, athletic, and he was voted Crystal Palace's player of the season. He is from Mali, the defensive midfielder, and he used to play in the French league for Lens before Crystal Palace signed him. And importantly, the journalist Delaney, who is working for the independent newspaper, is saying that Doucouré is very keen to move to Anfield and personal terms would not be an issue. So he's a player that would love to play for Liverpool, and Liverpool are also looking, according to the journalist, Liverpool are also looking at Fulham's João Palhinha and Nice's Khéphren Thuram, but Doucouré is seen as the best option for Liverpool out of the defensive midfielders that are still on the market. So if you enjoy these transfer news updates videos, make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe so you never miss the latest updates on Liverpool's transfer news, because half of you guys watching these videos aren't subscribed. So hit that subscribe button, it's free, and you guys get daily updates about Liverpool FC on my channel all year long. So Jurgen Klopp is keen to rebuild Liverpool, to reload Liverpool, but I think the biggest mistake by Liverpool was not identifying a proper replacement and also signing a proper replacement after Fabinho and Henderson was sold. As soon as Liverpool got a bid for Fabinho, we should have said to the Saudi Arabian clubs, let Liverpool sign a defensive midfielder and then we will sell you Fabinho. But Liverpool thought, you know what, and it was pretty arrogant and overconfident, that we will sign a defensive midfielder anyway, and Liverpool could still do it because there is still 16 days left of the transfer window. But I think Liverpool leaving it late narrows down Liverpool's options. Liverpool still have a lot of options, I have to say, because defensive midfielders, I mean the top ones, yes, they are very few and far between, and they cost top dollar, but you know, the destroyers who are not like the elite strikers or the elite attacking midfielders, they are a little bit easier to find in this middle range, and I think Doucouré is on the verge of becoming world class, and he could easily fit into this Liverpool system because he has a brilliant passing range, very good tackling, but I will talk about the detailed scouting analysis a little bit later. So Jurgen Klopp said, we have this kind of a new start with this Liverpool reloaded team. It's an exciting thing. Everybody was asking for changes because we were together for a long time, so rightfully so. It's a new chance for everybody. Everybody has to step up. We all share a responsibility. It's not that we should give ourselves too much time to grow into it. So let's do it. Let's take the responsibility and go from there. Be the best version of yourself, and then you have a good chance to have the team in the best possible way. But Jurgen Klopp have repeatedly said, and this was a plea to the owners, that Liverpool need to sign a defensive midfielder, we need to sign a centre-back. But it's not Jurgen Klopp doing these deals. It's the sporting director and the FSG CEO. So this is on FSG to give Jurgen Klopp enough defensive midfielders and a centre-back, so we are fully equipped for the new season. And also the news that Kevin De Bruyne will be out until December or January actually makes Man City a little bit less likely to get to a 95 to 100 points. And if Liverpool could sign 2 proper defensive midfielders and a centre-back, I'm genuinely of the opinion that Liverpool could mount a title challenge. At the moment, Liverpool are scraping for top 4 without a defensive midfielder, an experienced one. It's really hard to see Liverpool even getting anywhere close to Man City, Arsenal. So Crystal Palace signed Doucouré from Lens from the French league for just 22 million euros, which is around 20 million pounds. But he impressed. He was Crystal Palace's player of the season and also played 12 times for the Mali national team, and he's at the perfect age, being 23 years old. He is not a kid anymore. He's a grown man, but he's still to enter his prime. And I think even 70 or 80 million pounds wouldn't be too much for Doucouré in today's market, because if Caicedo is 115 million, if Lavia is 60 million, then Doucouré is easily worth 70 million in my opinion. So now let's talk about Doucouré's numbers. These stats that I'm telling you guys are from Smarter Scout. So Doucouré's quality and playing style are rated on a scale of between 0 and 99, and the quality of actions compared to Fabinho. Fabinho is 188 centimeters tall and he weighs 78 kilos. Doucouré is 180 centimeters tall and he weighs 73 kilos. So Liverpool would lose some size in the areas between defense and midfield. But looking at defensive quality, Fabinho scores a high 75, but Doucouré scores a middle 46. In defensive quality, meaning how much a player defends, Doucouré scores 63 compared to Fabinho's 26. Of course, that's expected because Fabinho plays in a much more possession-based team and also a dominating team like Liverpool, so Fabinho has to defend a lot less than Doucouré. It should be noted that in defensive quality, Doucouré did quite well with a 55 with Lens the season before last season and 3 seasons ago with a 61. So the drop of last season could have to do with adapting to tempo, intensity and different style of football in the Premier League. Of course, it's a big step up from the French league, but Doucouré showed that he is good enough for the Premier League and he can cut it, and he was pretty imperious when Liverpool played Crystal Palace at Anfield. I watched the player compilation of Cheick Doucoure and he was pretty fantastic in that team of Crystal Palace, breaking up play, getting balls back from the Liverpool players. In attacking output, Fabinho scores 54 2 seasons ago, Doucoure scored 38. In ball retention, Doucoure scores a pretty low 34 whilst Fabinho scores a whopping 67. This tells us Doucouré is struggling to keep the ball. Could be both technique or not using his body efficiently enough, but you also have to take this with the knowledge that Fabinho is already the finished article. He is the finished world-class player. I mean, he already is fully developed to the best of his ability. Doucouré is still a work in progress. He's still a young player, developing, growing, improving. And Fabinho is defending more actively than Doucouré. Fabinho scored 93 in disrupting opposition moves compared to Doucouré's 44, and 91 in recovering moving balls compared to Doucouré's 63. In the duel game, however, Doucouré actually is better than Fabinho. Doucouré scores 81 in ground duels in possession and 92 in ground duels out of possession. Fabinho's comparable numbers are 68 and 44, so much lower. He wins at aerial duels in open play. I'm talking about Fabinho with 97 contra 35, probably because Fabinho is a lot taller and bigger than Doucouré. Doucouré, however, edges out Fabinho in on-the-ball ability as he scores 51 in dribbling compared to Fabinho's 4. Doucouré is also a more progressive player as he scores 61 in passing towards the goal compared to Fabinho's 17. And by the way, shout out to Maxi Angelo on Twitter for breaking down these scouting numbers, these scouting analysis numbers. He used Smarter Scout for his scouting analysis. So it's not very fair, of course, against Doucouré to compare his first season in the Premier League to a season where arguably Fabinho was the best defensive midfielder in the world, and he carried Liverpool to two trophies and to another 2 finals. But you also have to say that Doucouré's stats from last season at Crystal Palace are decent in comparison to Fabinho's best season at Liverpool, and you don't get Crystal Palace Player of the Season award to you unless you are an outstanding defensive midfielder, because Crystal Palace had Eze, Zaha, Olise all having really good seasons, but Doucouré had an even better season than them, and he was one of the main reasons why Crystal Palace earned a lot of points and easily stayed up last season in the Premier League. Doucouré is also good at winning the ball back from the opposition, and also Liverpool would get a player who is more comfortable on the ball and progressive minded, so he's not shy of getting the ball and driving forward, or it's finding a progressive pass towards the opposition final third. Doucouré also ranked 6th last season for successful tackles and interceptions with 133 combined tackles and interceptions. He wins roughly 56% of his tackles, which is around the same as Declan Rice or Moises Caicedo, £100 million midfielders. He averages 89% in short range passing, 86.8% in mid range passing, and 72% in long range passing. So at the right price, Doucouré could grow into a world-class defensive midfielder. The problem is probably Liverpool are not getting him at the right price. We have to pay an inflated price because the season is already on the way. Crystal Palace would need to find a replacement, and it would disrupt, of course, their season a little bit. So that those are all factored into the final price of Doucouré. So I think Liverpool should get Doucouré for around 70 to 80 million pounds. That's what I expect the final price to be, with add-ons included. If Crystal Palace ask for 100 million, then just move on and try to sign Florentino Luis from Benfica. He's not gonna cost 100 million, probably 70-80 million as well. Also, it's worth noting Doucouré played around more than 500 minutes more than Fabinho's season that we are using to compare to Doucouré. Fabinho 2 seasons ago played 500 minutes less than Doucouré last season. It could have an impact on the numbers as the quantity becomes bigger for a player who has played 500 minutes more. And if I have to choose between João Palhinha of Fulham and Doucouré of Crystal Palace, they would cost a similar amount, 70 million pounds, but Palhinha is 28 years old. He won't improve much. Doucouré at 23 could 5 years younger. You are paying the same amount for a player 5 years younger. I would always go for Doucouré if I had to choose between two players, even though those two players are both pretty ideal for what Liverpool are looking for in the transfer market at the moment. And one of his former coaches back in Mali has talked about what he wanted to do with Doucouré and how he tried to develop Doucouré among, of course, a host of other young players. He said one of our aims was to develop an almost perfect technical control of the ball in different situations, and Doucouré was able to do that very well. During his early years, Doucouré was also used further forward, even as a striker, which also helped him in perfecting his ability on the ball, his awareness in front of goal. At first he started playing up front, was a very efficient striker, scoring many goals, beating his opponents, but he put in a lot of effort to come back and help out his team in defensive situations as well. So we put him further back. He had a natural understanding for football, he was skillful and above all intelligent. He seemed to have no limit in improving himself game after game. And Doucouré often played against older players and not just players in his own age group, and he never gave up. He had the confidence in himself to believe he can reach any level. He was always doing what was necessary to reach that aim. When you needed him to, he always delivered. And at Lens, he had just turned 18 years old. He caught the eye immediately. After just 2 training sessions with the second team of the club, he was integrated into the first team. It took Doucouré 5 games in Lens's second team to make the leap into the first team. Imagine how good he was. was. Just 5 games and then he was straight away promoted to the first team. During his first full season, he featured in 35 games for the, at the time, French second division side, and he cruelly missed out on a promotion to the top flight, but they secured promotion in Doucouré's second campaign, and then he really caught the eye in the French first division. And Lens now has qualified for the Champions League. I'm really excited to watch this. In French football, Lens is considered a pretty small club compared to, of course, Marseille, Paris Saint-Germain, Lyon, Monaco, and all these other big clubs. And so for Lens to finish second and to qualify for the Champions League group stages is a huge success. So I'm really excited to watch them. And now, finally, before we end the video, I wanted to tell you what Fabrizio Romano said about Liverpool's current transfer plans. He said Liverpool feel that now is not the time to panic. And for Liverpool, the biggest objective is to find the right player. There is an integral discussion, internal discussion ongoing, as Jurgen Klopp is going to decide who is the midfielder he wants to sign now in the coming weeks. So for sure there will be a signing for Liverpool, and I think we need 3. I will be honest. I think we need to sign Doucouré, we need to sign another one like Sangare for 32 million would be an absolute bargain. If he played in the Premier League, Sangare would be worth 80 million easily. And Inacio for 40 million. Those final two players that I mentioned, Sangare and Inacio, they have release clauses, so not much negotiating is needed. And for Doucouré, we need to negotiate a pretty good price with Crystal Palace. And that is going to be very interesting how that unfolds. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Have a lovely day. See you later. Goodbye.